show you how to use Google Bard in a slightly different way. This time, we're going to use the browser extension feature, which revolutionizes browsing in a whole new way. There's no way I'll ever be going back to just a traditional Google search. Let's hop on the screen and I'm going to show you how you can access this tool. Starting at Google, we're going to type in extension store. Go to the extension store and you can type in Bard in the search bar for the Google Chrome Store extensions. Make sure that when you search for Bard, you click More Extensions. You'll scroll until you find Bard for Google Pro. This is the brand new Bard browser extension that you want to ensure that you're using. You'll go here, you'll click Add to Chrome, click Add Extension, and then go ahead and tap on the extension up here to make sure that you got it enabled. So I'm going to pin it. I'm going to go to Options. See here that it's going to automatically respond. I'm going to put it into dark mode. I'm going to go back to this. Manage the extension and make sure that it's on. Anytime I don't want the extension on, I can simply toggle it off and it'll change the way that it responds with the browser. But with it on, now it's time for me to show you this revolutionary new tool. For today's prompt on the Google Bard browser extension, we're gonna type in something that a normal average person would put into the search bar when they're Googling something and see how different the response is. So, what are the best products to add to my online store? So, here you can see Bard and ChatGPT here in the same little interface corner, right? All you've got to do is tap Bard or tap ChatGPT and then it'll give you the option to log in. Once you click that option and log in, it'll generate the special Bard response. So let me show you what that looks like when you do it from scratch. I'm going to refresh this. I get my normal Google responses here on the left side of the screen, and then on the right, Bard is generating its own explanations of what I should do. Now here, normally we'd have to sift through all of these websites to get the information that we want. There's been a relatively new feature with Google in which you can get a streamlined answer, but you never know where the source that they've selected to get their information from lies in terms of its time updates or its relevance to the context in which you're asking your question. The benefit of Bard on the right side of the screen as an extension to your normal browser is that it gives you a much more concise response to your question. So if we take a look here, we can see clothing and accessories with a description on why. We can also see that this is for an online store in 2023. Now, instead of Shopify simply giving me an ad and telling me to join their website, simply to become a customer of theirs, I've got Bard on my right-hand side and in my right hand, and as a friend, telling me here what I need to do in the current year of 2023. We've got clothing and accessories, electronics, home goods, pet products, gifts and homeware, and subscription boxes as well. Not only does it give me the title, but it gives me a description of each of these. And you can continue to scroll down and you'll see that there's more suggestions such as doing my research, considering my target audience, finding a niche, and offering high quality products. These are special tips that you wouldn't normally get from using Google in its traditional manner without the AI Bard assistant. Now let's type in another question and see how Bard and Google and this extension make Google search a completely revolutionized tool and more effective for us as the users. Here's a question that's a little bit deeper. What are the best colors to use for PowerPoint slideshows in a business meeting? Maybe I'm not exactly sure what color I'd like to use, right? And I want to know a little bit more than just what colors. I also want to know why. So at this point in time, I'm seeking Bard's assistance. I'm going to read Bard's response before I go in and actually check out different websites. That way, I'm more prepared to make sure that I'm choosing from the best possible sources. And we see here The best possible colors for PowerPoint, we want it to be easy to read and see. So it's telling me that the colors should have enough contrast and that the text and graphics need to be easy to read even from a distance, right? It tells me professional and appropriate for the audience. So the colors should be appropriate for the business setting. It says consistency throughout the presentation. I mean, these are amazing tips that I feel like you may not have even gotten throughout school unless you didn't do well and your teacher was kind enough to give you the right type of feedback. But lo and behold, here we have the actual colors. Blue and white, green and white, gray and yellow, black and white. What it does alongside the colors, it tells me what the colors are most effective for. Blue and white, a classic color scheme that is both professional and calming. Green and white, this color scheme is fresh and inviting. So you can keep scrolling down and you'll see here, when choosing colors for your PowerPoint presentation, it's also important to consider the following. We've got the purpose, the mood that I want to create, and the company's branding. All of this from a simple question of what color should I use in my PowerPoint? Previously, all we would have gotten is links to a whole bunch of websites, and then in a sense, been maybe even more confused. But now I've got a concise answer on the side that fits the narrative of my question and allows me to go to a lot less sources and be a lot more confident with the information that I'm receiving. I'll show you one more extension that can be used with Bard, and then after that, you'll be left to discover more on your own or come back for another lesson and see how we have learned how to use Bard and Google and these extensions to make your life better. So the prompt I've chosen today is, I'd like to say, a little bit more applicable. This is a very realistic Google question. What are the new California rebates for electric cars? I've personally heard a lot about it. So let's this time compare the answer from Google to the answer from Bard. Here we see Clean Vehicle Rebate Project promotes clean vehicle adoption in California by offering rebates from $1,000 to $7,500. That's great information, but I have a feeling that there's more to it. We check out Bard and we see synthesize. I've got a chart, I've got the links where I got the information from, and it looks like I've got a lot more information than just this simple paragraph without having to go to 5, 2, or 16 different web pages. The Clean Vehicle Rebate Project, the Low Income Discount, the Utility Rebates, and State Tax Credits. Here, I'm getting $7,500 up to $7,500 for the Clean Vehicle Rebate. I'm getting a $1,500 discount for low income. I'm getting $4,000 in rebates for the utility rebates, and there's also a $7,500 tax credit. Now, $7,500 twice, $4,000 and $1,500 is a lot more money being saved than just $1,000 to $7,500. And had I not seen all these tools, maybe I wouldn't have known to go through and take the steps necessary to actually accomplish and achieve all the discounts or rebates that I could be. And see here, it's got the name of the program, the rebate amount, and the eligibility requirements. And if I didn't trust it or had any questions, I can always click here and go to the actual websites where it pulled the information from, such as ca.gov, the Road to Zero Emissions. And as for today and the browser extension for Google Bard, I'm gonna wrap this lesson up and I will see you in the next one. But keep in mind, this browser extension tool and Google Bard in general are both extremely efficient. You can curate answers in other languages for yourself, for business partners, friends, or family. You can speak to Bard, Bard can speak back to you, and on top of that, instead of maybe sending links, you can actually share this directly with your family members, friends, and business partners in other countries. I hope that your Google searches are never the same and that you get streamlined information that's a lot more relevant to what you're looking for, and that the context in which the response is given to you in is a lot more accurate. These are some of the best updates, and you know where to go when the next set of updates come out. We'll be here and we'll be sharing them with you. Thanks.